Learn English through stories defined. Adapted and modified by Kulwant Singh Sandhu. Contents: 1. The Pancake Man. 2. The Magic Window. 3. Two Fishermen. 4. Nip the Evil in the Bud. 1. The Pancake Man. Once there was a boy called Rashid who lived with his father. His mother died when he was young, and for many years his father was very sad. When his mother was alive, every weekend one of them made pancakes for Rashid. For many years after she died, Rashid's dad never made pancakes, but one day he woke up and said, "Rashid, would you like pancakes for breakfast?" After that day, Rashid's father made pancakes every day. He fell in love with pancakes. Rashid was happy at first because he loved pancakes and he loved watching his father flip them. Rashid's father would buy bigger and bigger frying pans and make bigger and bigger pancakes. Soon he made giant pancakes bigger than pizzas. He held the frying pan with both hands and said, "Ready?" Rashid would say, "Yes, Dad," and then his dad would flip the pancake. The pancakes were so big that when he flipped them, they made a whooshing sound. It was like an aeroplane flying through the room. It was magic. But soon it was too much. Every morning Rashid came downstairs and found a mountain of giant pancakes on his plate. They were so big that he could only eat one. His dad put the rest in a box for Rashid to take to school, but he was sick of pancakes. They had pancakes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So he gave the pancakes to his friends and took their sandwiches and apples. His friends loved the pancakes, so Rashid had an idea. "Dad, why don't you sell your pancakes?" Rashid's dad looked afraid for a moment. "Oh no," thought Rashid. "He thinks the pancakes are what connect us with Mom." But Rashid said, "Dad, the pancakes are what connect us with your mother. We can't share them with other people." Rashid spoke carefully. "Don't you think Mom would want us to share them? She loved sharing food with people." Rashid's dad started to cry. "Oh, Rashid, you're right." So he ran a little shop outside their house and started selling pancakes. At first he only ran the shop after work or on the weekend. But soon his pancakes became very popular and everyone started talking about the Pancake Man. His shop became so popular that he left his job and only worked at the pancake shop. Rashid was very happy. Because his dad sold all the pancakes, he gave Rashid money to buy different food. Finally, Rashid could have pizza and pies and vegetables. He ate carrots until he was sick of them. Rashid's dad was also very happy. Everyone loved watching him flip the giant pancakes, and they always clapped afterwards. Years later, everyone in the city knew about the Pancake Man, and they opened up a restaurant in town. While Rashid's father flipped pancakes and ran the restaurant, Rashid worked hard at school. He was very interested in space and wanted to be an astronaut when he grew up. His father was so busy with the pancake business that he didn't see him very much. Rashid finished school and went to university to study astrophysics. He wanted to go to a good university, far away from home, but his dad wanted him near. So he went to the university in their city. It wasn't so good, but if he worked hard, he thought he could still go to space. But one day, Rashid's father had a horrible accident. One of the giant frying pans in the restaurant fell and hit him on the head. He went to hospital, and the doctors said he didn't have long to live. Rashid stayed by his father's side day and night. He couldn't believe it. His mother had died in a car accident. Wasn't that enough? Why did his father have to go at such a young age as well? "Rashid," he said, After I go, I want you to run the restaurant, become the pancake man. It's what your mother would have wanted. Rashid felt sick. He didn't want to run the restaurant, and he didn't think his mother would want him to. But this was what connected him to his father. If he didn't do it, he would feel terrible. Okay, Dad, I'll do it. His dad died in the night and Rashid went to work. If he worked hard, he would feel less alone. But he quickly saw that there was a problem. He knew how to cook pancakes well, but the giant frying pans were too heavy for him. His father had grown strong from all the pancake flipping, but nobody else in the restaurant could do it. When Rashid tried flipping the giant frying pan, the pancake didn't even go in the air. So Rashid started lifting weights. He took the sadness from his father's death and used it to grow strong. He lifted weights for hours every day. His arms grew until they looked like trees. And then he lifted more weights. During this time, Rashid couldn't sleep. When he wasn't lifting weights, he was studying for his astrophysics course. When he did sleep, he had strange dreams. He was flying through space and he saw his mother. Or was it a star? He flew towards the star, but he never got there, and when he woke up he was crying. A few months later, Rashid went back to the restaurant. All of the staff came and watched. He held the giant frying pan with both hands and waited for the right moment. Everyone held their breath. Then he flipped the pancake. Rashid was too strong. He was too sad, too tired. When he flipped the pancake, there was a very loud noise. The pancake flew up and hit the ceiling. But it didn't stop there. It broke through the ceiling and kept going. It broke through the roof. Everyone ran outside to watch. Rashid was still holding the frying pan. The pancake had flown out of the building and into the air. And it still didn't stop. It flew higher and higher until it went through the clouds. On the news that night, they talked about the pancake. It had flown into space. An astronaut saw it and quickly moved so that it didn't hit her. The pancake kept flying through space until it was too far away and nobody could see it. Indian astronaut Kalpan Chawla. Rashid watched the news but said nothing. He was alone in his house. His mother's house. His father's house. He ate 5 carrots for dinner and went to bed. The next morning, Rashid knew what to do. He went to the restaurant, took the giant frying pan and went to his father's grave. He put the frying pan on the grave. Dad, I love you. Every time I eat a pancake, I'll feel connected to you, but Mom is calling me. She needs me too. Because Rashid knew. He had watched the pancake flying into space. That was where he had to go. He had to follow his mother's star. Rashid put some flowers on the grave and then went home. He had some studying to do. 2. The Magic Window. Once upon a time, there was a little boy who became very ill. He had to spend all day in bed, unable to move. Because other children weren't allowed to come near him, he suffered greatly and spent his days feeling sad and upset. There wasn't much he could do except look out of the window. Time passed and his feeling of despair just grew. Until one day he saw a strange shape in the window. It was a penguin eating a sausage sandwich. The penguin squeezed in through the open window, said good afternoon to the boy, turned around and left again. Of course, the boy was very surprised. He was still trying to work out what had happened when outside his window he saw a monkey in a nappy, busy blowing up a balloon. At first, the boy asked himself what that could possibly be, but after a while, as more and more crazy-looking characters appeared out the window, he burst out laughing and found it hard to stop. Anyone wanting to stop laughing would never be helped by seeing a pig playing the tambourine, an elephant jumping on a trampoline, or a dog wearing a pair of glasses and talking about nothing except politics. The little boy didn't tell anyone about this because who would have believed him? Even so, those strange characters ended up putting joy back in his heart and in his body. Before long, his health had improved so much that he was able to go back to school again. There he got to talk to his friends and tell them all the strange things he had seen. While he was talking to his best friend, he saw something sticking out of his friend's school bag. The boy asked his friend what it was, and he was so insistent that finally his friend had to show him what was in the bag. There, inside, were all the fancy dress suits and disguises that his best friend had been using to try to cheer the little boy up. And from that day on, the little boy always did his best to make sure that no one felt sad and alone. 3. Two fishermen. There were two fishermen living in a village. They were close friends. They used to catch fish together on weekends. It was a Saturday, and they both decided to spend their day fishing at the nearby pond. They also decided to have a feast with the fish they get. They took all the essential utensils, ingredients, cooking accessories, and equipment. They reached the pond, sat in the distance, and started fishing. The first fisherman caught a big fish in a few minutes. He was so happy and placed the fish on the ice box to retain its freshness. He decided to cook the whole fish at noon. He spent some more time and captured more fish. He decided to make a grand meal with the fish. Also, he froze a few fish to take back home. It was more than an hour before they started fishing. The first fisherman approached the second fisherman and asked, "Do you need any help?" The second fisherman said no. And within a few minutes he got a big fish, but he threw it back into the pond. The first fisherman was shocked, but he remained silent. Again, the second fisherman got many big fishes, but he threw them back into the pond. Very annoyed by his act, the first fisherman asked him, "Are you mad? Why you threw the caught fish back into the pond?" The second fisherman replied, "I know that they are big fishes, but I don't have a big pan to cook these big fishes. That's why I'm returning the fish to the pond. I'm looking for small fishes that fit into my pan." Hearing this, the first fisherman was surprised. He advised the second fisherman to cut the big fish into small pieces so the pieces can fit into the pan. Moral: many people are like this second fisherman, having a great opportunity in their hands but don't know the value of it. 4. Nip the evil in the bud. Once there lived a boy named Balu in a village. One day after returning from school, he saw a lot of spinach in the nearby garden, so without knowing the owner of the garden, he entered there and took some spinach home. He went home and said to his mom, "Mother, I have bought some spinach. Prepare me a delicious lunch today with this spinach," said Balu. His mother asked, "Where is this spinach from?" He replied, "These are from the nearby garden." She knew that Balu had taken this spinach without the permission of the owner. His mother didn't give him any advice but rather prepared him a delicious lunch. Balu was happy as he wasn't punished for his mistakes. After a few days, he entered the same garden and stole some mangoes and brought it home, saying, "Mother, I have bought some mangoes. Make me some pickles using these mangoes." Without questioning him, she prepared him pickles. The gardener came to Balu's home and said to his mother, "Your son has stolen mangoes from my garden. Ask him never to do this mistake again," he shouted. But his mother shouted at the gardener, saying, "I know about my son. He will not do such kind of silly activities." Balu was happy and he thought that his mother was supportive of him. As time passed, Balu grew up and his needs were big. so he started to steal big things and money from others. Once he was caught and the police were to take him to the police station. His mother, seeing the situation of her son, started to cry. At that time Balu said to her, "There is no use in crying now. You encouraged my mistakes during my childhood days, that's why I am in this situation now. If you had punished me on those days, I might be a good person now." Moral: never encourage your child on their mistakes, rather give them proper advice and teach them to be good citizens.